Coach, we'll start our thing. You have your busy schedules too, so.
Yep.
For fans and listeners in PNG and across the world, the halftime with the full-time reserve is an initiative of the Png Rfl to talk to our elite players and set a platform for engagement with our fans, supporters, and stakeholders. For today's show, we have Justin Olam, all the way from Melbourne in Australia. KUMUL number 274.
Yeah.
Debuted in 2016 against Fiji at Campbelltown. He scored 6 tries for the KUMULs. His Hunters, 14 tries, debuting for the Hunters in 2015. In the Digital Cup, he played with the Lace Next Tigers. Currently, he's with the Melbourne Storm. I think he's played 8 games. He can correct us there. And thank you for joining us, Justin. In the studios out from Kokopo, we have Coach Michael Maroon for the last 2 episodes with Izzy and Midi joined us from the studios, but he traveled to Kokopo over the weekend. How are both of you?
Yeah, I'm good. Just busy with training and everything here. So, yeah, can't wait to go back if the season starts.
Okay. Good, Coach. Kokopo, okay?
Kokopo, right? Yeah, Kokopo's good. Been here.
Okay. We'll touch base with Justin for now. Basically, how has the last couple of months been given the COVID-19 pandemic and issues in Melbourne and Australia? How have you been doing?
It's been a little bit tough, especially with training, and it's hard for you to train by yourself to keep in shape and be ready, because we didn't know like what time we're going to start again. So that's, I think, one of the challenges, and not being able to go out and go see your friends and that. But apart from that, I have my big brother with me, so it's been helping me. So I really don't feel like I'm alone in this. I take him out with training with me once or twice. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's been challenging, but I'm holding up pretty good, so which is good.
Okay, thank you. This week, as you may have seen, while we've been, advertising your show, we've given the opportunity for fans to recommend a few questions, and we've got some interesting questions so far. I think the first fan question for this week is from Michelle. She's asking, how's life in Melbourne generally, your social life? Have you been able to keep in touch with family back home? How are you dealing with all this?
I really enjoy Melbourne. It's a beautiful city with socially, you have good places where you can go and eat. It's a very multicultural city, so you have a variety of food where you can pick and choose, So which is good. I stay connected with my family through Facebook Messenger. So I always call them, whenever I miss them and whatever. So I stay in touch with them. Helps me with my motivation as well. So that's basically it.
Thank you, Just. I think the other fan question is an interesting one from Palamela. Is asking your nickname, Juicy. What's the story behind that name, and who gave you that nickname to start with?
Nah, it's just the boys here. They just called me that. It's not my nickname though, but everyone calls it. So yeah, I just respond to it.
Okay, good. That's about touching base, Coach. Looks like we've lost Coach out in Kokopo.
What happened to him? Problem over there? Network.
Hopefully, we'll get him back. Okay, Justin. I think we know about you about football for our next segment around who is Justin Olam. Tell us a bit about yourself, your family, your roots, and what's important to Justin Olam.
Oh well, I'm from Simbu. I grew up there my whole life. I moved down to LA 2012 only to study, and yeah, back then I didn't know anything. All I cared about was studying and try to get to uni, because that's what all our parents wanted for us. So yeah, but then the opportunity presented itself for me to play rugby league. So that's what I do. But for me as a person, I think I'm very like to stay connected with my family. That's one important thing to me, family and my Christian belief as well. sometimes with men, like we drifted away from all those things, but I tried my best to stay in connected with that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's all about me.
Thank you, Justin. Talking about your roots, there have been some big Chimbu names in PNG Rugby League folklore. I think no more significant than probably two great KUMUL centers from Sinasina, where you from Balnumapo and David Tinamo. Tell us about the Sinasina legacy for the game and what it means to you.
Oh yeah, as a we're really proud of them. Even like my two uncles, Michael, Mark, and Purenbal, when they used to play Kumals, like we always proud, like we knew that we always boast on ourselves. We say, Sinasina, we produce like some of the best, outside backs for the Kumals, and then there's one thing like we hold close to us, and even when we play, like we have a field there. Our local league, we used to say this is the field where those players come and play. Not forgetting Stanley Gunner is from Cincinnati as well. So yeah, these are the big names that we look up to. So when it comes to rugby league,
yeah, great names. Probably something about the water in Cincinnati. Talking
something
about
to do with the mountains, I reckon.
Great. Talking about great names. Who would you consider to be your, biggest inspiration? Rugby league life.
I wasn't. Growing up, I'm a big fan of rugby league. Like I play it, but I'm more of a fan. I would just go around, following my local team or my uncle. My uncle used to play Michael Markham. He's like he's like adopted son to my dad. So yeah, he used to play rugby league and coming back, and I remember back then I used to follow him around, going to when they play Warriors and going to play home games in Simbu. We would I was a musician in my church back then, so I would I would play guitar, and then when after the music part of the thing, when it goes to the sermon, we would sneak out, and then we would have to like find our way to town, and it'll cost us like 2-3 hours to get to town. Sometimes we just walk, and then the struggles. But yeah, this is my earliest I think memory of rugby league. I think yeah, but there wasn't anyone that inspired me to play rugby league like when I was a kid growing up. But I think when I went to uni and when I realized that I can do something in sports, especially rugby league, and I see the power of the influence it has on young generations of the country. That's when I made up my mind, and I was like, okay, I'll give my best on into rugby league and see if I can influence some of the young generations coming up, that if I can do it, because I'm like any of the young kid in PNG. I grew up in the most rural part of Simbu, and I'm just like anyone else. And if I can, I'm not big, I'm not the strongest, I'm not the fastest. If I can do it, then any average kid in PNG can do it. That was my drive and my motivation. That's why I wanted to like drive a good example to them. So when I play, I always write my Bible verse on my end, at least put God first. It doesn't matter, everyone falls. We're not all perfect, we will have our ups times, down times, whatever. But as long as deep down in your heart, you know that the Lord's there, and then He will always forgive you because He will always support you. So that's one of my biggest motivations is to if I can do it, because after Marcus, like it seems like it was it seems like it was a big thing when we can't do it like PNG boys. We just come, Thompson, whatever, they come, they did the trial, but they always send them back, and that really kind of motivates me. I was like, what about us? The other Pacific Island countries, they're always getting in there, and they're doing their names, and we have some of the strongest players in the thing. If we can do it, if they can do it, why not us? So yeah, that was my big drive.
Thank you, Justin, for sharing that. You certainly are an inspiration with what you've been able to achieve so far for the game and in your life. Talking about balancing life and football, you're unique. You've become a success story. Tell us about how you've been able to balance school. You've graduated from Unitech with a degree in physics. How you've been able to successfully balance school and life and stay connected to your roots through your church? How challenging it has been, and why are you a success story?
My big part of my success with playing sports in uni was my classmates. Like, they were really very supportive to me. Like, I would go to training, miss a class or miss a notes, and they will copy the notes and come in. Like, my roommate Bobby Anis, he will come and give it to me. Like, when I come back, I'll go and copy of him, or he will tell me, "Oh, this is the homework, whatever," and then we'll do it together. Like this, I will not do it without without my classmates. And what big thank you to them if they're watching it, if they're seeing this. Thank you to all the BSA before. They're my big help. I remember one time I went to Kokopo. We played Gurias when I was with the Tigers, and we had a maths test on. I was a true story, yeah. So we have a maths test on Monday, and we played Sunday, and we're supposed to land in late Monday lunchtime, and then we're gonna go because the test is maths test is no, it's not a test. I think it's an exam, and it's on 1 o'clock. So if I go catch the Monday flight, I would have made it. But some of the boys, they got drunk, and then we went into the plane, and then they had to kick all the Tigers boys out, all of us. And then I said, "Look, I've got some things like this. I can't. I need to go back and do union this one. As long as you're a Snake Tigers player, you're not allowed to go back." And then as soon as I had this, I called my classmates and I was like, "Look, guys, I can't make it. So all the best, whatever." I didn't expect anything from them. And then what? To my surprise, they all skipped the test, and they said they sent 2 of our reps to the teacher and said, "Look, we're gonna make it to the test tomorrow. We're not ready."
The class did that.
They did it purposely for me, and then I was like, that's why I said I couldn't thank them more. Like, I have the best classmates ever. They really helped me to do it. So yeah, and then when I came in, like, the bus dropped me right to the classroom, and then I went in, and then the test started, and then we did it. And with Unitech, if you fail one, if you miss one test, that carries a lot of percentage, and you'll most likely fail. And when you fail one course, you fail it all here. So I'm very fortunate to have this kind of classmates who really helped me. So yeah, I can't do it on my own.
Great friends. And Justin,
Yeah.
I'll take a guess. You passed the test?
Yes, I did. I had to study the night before the boys went out to drink. I had to stay in the thing and study, and even studied on the plane because I didn't want to. Yeah,
okay.
This is some of the things.
Probably the last question around that, Justin. Were there times when you doubted yourself? What am I doing? Can I be successful? And if so, what did you do to motivate you to overcome this?
The only time I would doubt myself is whenever I didn't do the things that I said I was going to do, like my goals, my weekly goals, my sacrifices. If I didn't stick to the things that I said I would not do, or the things that I will do, and if I didn't stick to it, that gives me the doubt, and more of like I'm doubting the result, but not myself. And it does happen to me. Like, if I tick all my boxes, like my goals, if I stuck to my plan, my belief, whatever, like, because I always have goals. I have like a weekly goal, short-term goals, whatever. And if I stuck to those things, and if I knew that I'm working hard, there's no way I'm doubting myself. And it's proven. So, but the only time I doubt myself is when I'm not sticking to my goals, and when I'm doing the wrong things, and instead of sticking to my routine. So these are the times that takes my confidence away, and doubts make me get into doubts. And the other one is when I first came here to Melbourne, and how hard it is to crack into first grade. That was a really tough time for me. Like, I was going through a hard time. My family is all good, but my friends and people kept messaging me and asking me, "When are you going to play? When are you going to play?" And then I was like, I felt like, when am I going to play? But I want to play, but it's not up to me to play. So And then like people talking about it, and then I was like, this really gets into my head. And then one time I just said, I ain't gonna doubt myself. I don't care what the result is. I'm just gonna work hard. And if it doesn't happen the way I want it to be, or if it doesn't go my way, then at least I give my best so I can go home and I will still smile because I have nothing to regret about. That's pretty much it.
Thank you, Justin. That's inspirational. Thank you for sharing that. We'll go to the football questions now.
Okay.
Congratulations on being re-signed by the Storm. Tell us about your initial contract, part-time, playing with Sunshine Coast in the Melbourne system, and then your new contract as a full-time member of the squad. The experiences. What's your take on it?
Yeah. On the contract, I didn't sign any new contracts yet. It's just a word agreement, or it's just talking. It's just talks. We're not even signing anything yet, so the media got it all twisted.
Thank you.
Yeah, and also, when I first got here, I was just on like a rookie contract, and I would live in Melbourne, train with the first grade squad, and then I'll just fly the day before the game to Sunny Coast. So if we're playing on Saturday, I'll fly from Melbourne to Sunny Coast or wherever we're going to play, and then I'll play there Saturday, and then I'll fly back Sunday or Saturday afternoon, and then train with Melbourne the whole week. That's pretty much my life. Past 2 years, almost 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You gotta come back and catch all the flights, come back every week, and then you gotta, you don't get enough rest because if we come back Saturday or Sunday, and then the first grade needs to train Monday, you gotta be there to help them. You know what I mean? Like because we are the opposing, provide the opposing, team for them to train with. So that's pretty much my life.
Talking about your pathways, your experiences. What has been your key observations on the lessons you have learned, say, between the local digital cup Snakes Tigers, the Hunters, the Sunshine Coast, and the Melbourne? Any key experiences that stick out among those?
I think the skill set of the game is way higher than NRL. Everyone you play in NRL is very skillful, and they're not just strong, but they're very skillful and they're fit as well. So fitness, I reckon fitness is one thing, but I don't think it's going to bother this is a cup players. But I think one thing is going to bother them is the skills and the little things that they do. That's the only thing that sets the NRL apart is the skills and the little things. Like everything here is like, what you're doing. This is a cup, you should just take the ball and sometimes you just run hard and that's it. But I think if we can, that's the thing that I was struggling with, when I first got here, was because we don't have this system, coming up playing rugby league. We just, all they teach us is what do our coaches do? They just do the team sit and just tell us to take the ball and run hard, And as a kid, you growing up, you don't know what it's like to, do those little things. But here they have that's the difference. That's why I think Australia is more successful in rugby is because they have under age groups where they train them, they teach them the basic things, in defense and in attack, as simple things like coming off the line straight when you're defending or playing straight when you're attacking. Those little things, they don't teach us when we were little kids. They just give us the ball and tell us to run. So that's the difference. Like if we can, I feel like if we want to beat them, we need to start teaching our juniors the basic skills of rugby league. That's all.
Thank you. A fan question for you from Hidley Mene. Can you remember anything interesting about your first training session with the Storm? How did it go? Any special memories?
I don't have good memories on my first day with Storm. I was just blowing. I was just breathing because I was I'm not fit. I'm not always fit. Fitness is not my thing, yeah. That's why when you come to Melbourne, that thing really hurts me. In a good way, it challenges me to know that this is my weakness, fitness. So that's why I got to work on it. I'm still not the fittest guy, but I try to work hard.
Thank you. Thank you. I think another fan question from Michelle. You are the third Papua New Guinean after Marcus Bai and Johnny Wilshere at the Melbourne Storm. Any stories about the legacy the two gentlemen may have left behind, and any interesting stories you got told about the two men while they were in Melbourne?
Yes, Melbourne is a very good. It's like a family culture club, and it's very multicultural. And they have the names of the players from whatever country on the world or whatever, and you can see them. So whenever I see Johnny Wilshere and Marcus' name there, I'm banging my chest and say, "These are my countrymen." And yeah, Marcus is a legend there. He made the 20-year team for Melbourne Storm. That's a very big, thing. If you look at all the great players that come into Storm, and then Marcus is, chosen over them to be part of the team, 20-year team, so which is good. And I think, yeah, Marcus is a legend here. Everyone, talks highly about him. Photos everywhere. I stand as well for Marcus in the thing, so it makes me feel at home as well. That Marcus has done a lot for this club, and the club has given a lot to him in return, to recognize his talent and bring him to Melbourne to give him a good future. And that's I'm very comfortable in Melbourne because of that. And yeah, like I said, Melbourne is a very multicultural and family-oriented club. So I'm not missing home. All I miss is the food, and that's all.
Great to know. Great to know you're doing well. What is it like being around some of the biggest names in the games, like Coach Bellamy, Cameron Smith, Billy Slater? How has it impacted you, and what is it like?
Well, it's sometimes I just go to training and I'll just take myself out of the picture and look at them as a fan, and I'll just stand on the side and I'll be like, okay, that's that player. I used to watch them when I was a kid, and then like it feels like a dream sometimes, and it's like, and then makes me feel grateful as well. And then I'm sometimes I just, when I see that and when I realize that, I feel makes me don't take these things for granted, and makes me want to train hard. And when I go there, by these players, they're on top much. Like Billy plays the way he trains, 100%. He's got only one gear and that's it. And Cameron is so smart. It's like he's so fit as well. Like we will be training and we'll be exhausted, and he'll be over there just standing and just relaxing. And how do you do that? Yeah, well, like they get good leaders too. They don't talk much, but if you can just see, through their accents, they're not only good players, but they're good, parents and husbands to their wives. The way they look after their family too. So that's one thing, you learn from them, not on the field only, but off the field also. So.
Thank you, Justin. Coming back to you and being a KUMUL. In PNG, being a KUMUL is an exclusive club. In over 46 years of KUMUL's history, only 294 boys have gotten the privilege of being called a KUMUL out of the millions. What does it mean to be a KUMUL?
It really means a lot to me. Like whenever I play for KUMULs, I don't know, I just get this different energy and that confidence that I just want to, go out there and play as hard as I can, as best as I can and whatever. But there's no feeling compared to playing for KUMULs, and especially playing at home in front of the home fans and see them smile and, cheering for us. It's such a great feeling, and I'll try my best to play as long as I can, and to play for KUMULs and make this, my countrymen proud and represent my family, my culture. And that's about it. But it's like I said, it's second to none. Playing for KUMUL is the best feeling ever.
Thank you, Justin. The great contributions that you've made to the team in its success over the last 5 years. You're an integral part of that, and we continue to, proudly see you continue to don the jersey. Talking about the future and the KUMULs, how do you see yourself and the KUMULs team, given the success you and the boys have had over the last 4 or 5 years leading into next year's World Cup? How do you see the KUMULs performing and yourself?
Oh, I think we will have a lot of boys, new talents coming up. 5 years is a very long span of time. But we're going, through it. We have Adenia and Edwin going through, NRL systems. We have Moses, and some of the boys coming out of, Hunters to get different exposure to coaching and that. So, I'm pretty confident that when it comes next World Cup, we will have a good team to compete. And I'm not doubting the boys, their performance and their, you know, courage to go out there and play for their country is there. It's just that, we need some of the little missing pieces. And I believe that, when boys come out like that and get exposure to, NRL coaching systems, and that will really help us, and we will need their experience when it comes World Cup. So I know we're going to go a little bit deeper than we went last one. So
Great to know.
I said it, boys. We need to back it up.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure, but I said it.
Okay, Justin, where do you see yourself? This is another fan question from D. Maima. I think it's in Goroka. Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Where do I see myself in 10 years?
It's too far ahead, but you're a young man.
Well, I'm 26 now, so I'll be 36. Hopefully, I play my last rugby league. I want to play as long as I can, try to look after my body, but hopefully I will have, hopefully I'll be married, have kids. I just don't want to live like this. So, at least, hopefully I'll be married, have kids, have something going on in my life. I'm planning to do a few things off field as well. So hopefully those things go really well for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. We'll be with you through the journey. So thank you very much for sharing that. Now, Justin, you're one of our few kids that has come through our domestic pathway system from, Chimbu to Lay to the Hunters, and you've made a success. You're an inspiration to the kids coming up. Because you've been through the system, what do you take on the domestic game? What can we do to improve the game, to create more opportunities for, kids that are coming through like yourself to, reach the heights you reach?
I think we will need to be my personal point of view, okay? I'm not throwing this on anyone. I still feel like we're not picking the best team for PNG, KUMULs. Partly it's because the competitions are not played, to the most rural part of the country. And I'm saying this because I looked at it from my own story. If I didn't come to Lay Unitech to play for university, I wouldn't come here. Because at home there was no proper competition to make it to, Simbu team. And when you finally make it to go to play in the town competitions, there's sometimes politics involved. All these things, we need to get these things out of the way. So, people we need transparent selection, people earning spots, and selecting people not only because he's he's been there for a long time or he's an experienced player, but you got to look at the future, young kids coming up, and I believe if we can down the track, come up with a different body scout selecting body to go around the country. Like you look at Sepik, there's no rugby league in there. Makam, they're not playing rugby league. Even Kerama, it's not that. This was where all the big people are, even in some of the rural parts of Simbu or in the Highlands. The ones that play rugby league are the ones that are around the town, and they are the ones that go benefit. And we're picking that only part of the talent that is exposed. But we're still doing good in KUMUL. Imagine if we go out there
Exactly.
to the real rural parts of the country and select the best of the best. That would have been different. This is what I personally believe. So, with the government, money and everything is involved, but I'm just saying that's my point of view. If we can do that, if we can look into that, in the near future, we will be doing good.
Thank you for sharing that. You're qualified to talk about that because you've come through the systems. Your views on the PNG Hunters and how important you think it is to the local game in terms of pathway, the future for the Hunters?
I think it's so good. I think it's helping to raise the standard of the Digital Cup as well. Not only because players wanted to come in and play Hunters, they'll have to perform well in Digital Cup, and that raises the standard, makes people work hard. Not only that, and then players that play in the Hunters, they go back to Digital Cup when they're not playing in the Hunters. They bring their experience with coach like Michael, and they go back and they challenge. They become like role models in their own teams. And that's when they influence them. Some of the work ethics, the respect, and not only on the field but off the field as well. Michael and them, they're like really good at discipline and everything like that. So hopefully that translates into like the District Cup competition and makes it better. Plus it provides the pathway for young talents to come. Like Kato came, he's the first one to come. Me, Thompson, Watovo, now you have Edwin. Edwin is straight from District Cup. Edena, this, we're seeing progress, so it is a good thing.
Just need to keep at it and improve the system. So.
Yes, that's it. We have a new coach now, so we don't know you. That's the thing, see? We have a new coach now for the Hunters, so he's coming in with, he's been part of like Stanley Cole's, system, which is Melbourne system, so that's like NRL system linked together, so which is good, the boys will learn new things, so that's good for us as well.
Thank you for your views around that. Again, you're qualified, you've been through the system, so you're qualified to make those comments. Now, probably the most important questions around that, given your experience, what would be your advice to any young PNG boy that's dreaming to follow in Justin Olam's footsteps?
Oh, like I said, if I can do it, you can do it. Some of them may not have the strengths that I have. I will not have the strengths that they have, but they will. What I prefer is you look for your own strengths and you work on that. And that's one thing that I learned along my journey is if you work hard and you're consistent, and if you set your goal and if you really want something, you will get it. There is no or but or is or whatever in there. You can do it. Anyone can do it. I did it. I'm not big. I'm small, but I did it. Anyone can do it.
Hard work.
That's all.
Thank you for sharing those. Just probably we go to our naughty, funny question segment. You've seen your fellow KUMUL Hunters boys respond in their own ways to around these questions. We call them funny questions. The first one for you. While you were growing up, who would you consider to be your favorite KUMUL while you were watching the national team then?
I like Anton Kui.
Okay.
Anton Kui, I like him because he's skinny, but he's very skillful. I heard a lot about Manzi Yere, and I think he's very strong and he's very dominant. So I think these two people growing up there.
Thank you. You played with a lot of KUMULs over the last 5 years. Who have you enjoyed the most playing with as a KUMUL teammate?
Oh, that's everyone. All the boys. Everyone. It's all the boys. You can't pick or choose between anyone.
Remember,
Everyone is just
remember
so
that
great.
watching too.
Yeah, we can't wait to, like, every time when it comes close to get back into camp, we message each other and it's like, yeah, we can't wait to get back. It's so fun.
Okay. Your most memorable KUMUL moment so far?
Oh, that would be the win, my debut win when we defeat Fiji.
Campbelltown.
Yeah, Campbelltown.
We've got some footage of that. Really good game you played then too.
Yeah. Oh, that was one game. I remember when I did when I went out for the 10 in the bin.
Yes.
I didn't want to watch the game because I was scared that it was my fault that they're gonna lose. And I was just depressed in my room, in the dressing room. But it was a good game. We earned that win, like we fought till the end. If you look at some of the effort, like David, and the tries from Watson, and that, it was just a lot of effort. The boys really dug in and won that game, so that really stuck to me.
Agreed. There have been many good wins since then, but it was the first win in 16 years for the KUMULs.
Yeah.
So it was a significant win that probably set the foundation for all the success that you and the boys have enjoyed, or we have all enjoyed together in the last 6 years. So thank you. Thank you for giving us a memorable debut, a memorable win. Now, your funniest or weird KUMUL moment so far, you have any?
That's one time I remember. I think it's after World Cup where the boys were like, we came back from, I think, Lamana, and Paisley and it was someone. Paisley and Kurt, they were wrestling in the corridor of the hotel, and it was so funny. I remember that one. And then after that, they wanted to, I think, go to White House to continue, and that was like 6 of them. My room was just right there at towards the gate, so I was drinking it. And I remember 5 of them went into the taxi, and it was full, and they had to Tsaka. I think they had to Tsaka Kurt in the booth. It was so funny, I remember. And I drove him to White House. Oh, he was scared. Yeah. And then, some of the boys, David, Reese, I think Asa was in the group as well. I don't know. But they had to tuck him in the boot of the taxi. That was so funny.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I know you've had some really, characters in the team, but who would you call your craziest KUMUL teammate?
There's three. Yeah, it's three boys. Gary, Watson, and I think Pagey. Pagey is like the life of the team. Goes around pumping everyone. Watson is like the one that talks around with Gary. Gary is then is someone when he comes in the mix. So yeah, I think this fellow there up there.
Okay. Thank you, Justin. It's been a good session. We've grilled you with a few questions. Unfortunately, coach in Kokopo has gone off. You have any questions for me and coach or was up here before? Yes.
Yeah, I just want to ask about, would you, I don't know, have anything about the end of the year games for us, the boys, KUMULs?
Yes.
Around that to clear it out a little bit.
Thank you, Justin. I think we've been made a couple of announcements. In my other capacity as chairman of the AP RLC, we just had a board meeting early this week, Monday, actually, where we have not called off the games. We called off the mid-season games, July games. We put them to end of the season, and we've been waiting for basically the NRL and the Super League calendar. now that we know what the NRL finals calendar looks like, you're playing the grand final, or when you're playing in the 3 state of origin games that are being played after the grand final, we're looking or liaising with NRL to ensure we get a couple of internationals happening between that state of origin window that's been provided. So hopefully over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be able to firm up on that. There's 2 events we've put up. Stitched up, that's probably the Oceania Cup. We're looking at 1 match. Initially it was going to be 2, but it'll probably be only 1 match. And the New Zealand men and women's tour to PNG, it's still on. We're working with New Zealand to deliver that. Obviously, it'll all depend on what happens with the restrictions around the COVID virus and the international travel restrictions. But we haven't called them off. The Oceania Cup and the Pacific Test are still on. So once we get something definitive, we'll be relaying it to coach, and he'll get in touch with the boys on the international programs going forward.
That's good. Wow, that's marvelous. That's it.
Thank you. Just before we log off, you have any last words, or just want to say goodbye to all of your fans, our families, stakeholders across the game in PNG and in the world?
I just want to tell everyone that, to at least, we know the risk of coronavirus. So stay, if you're watching from all around the world, help one another and stay safe.
Thank you, Justin. On behalf of all our fans and family in PNG and across the world, we take this opportunity to thank you for joining us for our 3rd episode. We wish you well for the rest of the year when the NRL starts. And we, Melbourne, hope you're well. And hopefully we'll see you when we visit you again towards the end of the year during the session. Take care and stay safe.
Thank you. Bye.